This webinar is called The Cycle of Freedom, an international observation that's current to today's time and place. In light of the fact we're taking a look at the U.S. and current conditions, here's a thought from an international perspective. Let me provide a couple of reference points before we get to our international observation. We've discussed how the golden triangle of freedom keeps a society on the liberty side of the cycle. We've also discussed how moral decay moves a country to the bondage side of the cycle. Ultimately, living on the bondage side of the cycle leads you to bondage. And as the Founding Fathers of America noted, God's providence is at work in all of this as well. As nations cannot be rewarded or punished in the next world, they must be in this. By an inevitable chain of causes and effects, providence punishes national sins by national calamities. I now take you to British Parliament and parliamentarian Ian Paisley, a Presbyterian minister and British House of Commons leader from Northern Ireland, and he echoes the observations of George Mason and articulates the cycle of freedom in his remarks to Parliament. Those who want to destroy standards and lower safeguards can easily apply the label of morality to their principles, but when they advocate those principles, their real objective is to get rid of morality and religion. This nation, Great Britain, has a soul and a conscience, but it has no eternity. Every person in this chamber has a soul and a conscience, and every person has eternity to face. We shall all give an account of ourselves to Almighty God at the end of the day. But nations are judged in time for their policies, their moralities, their violence, and their crimes. What of the great nations of the past? The dominant nations that led the world, controlled destinies, and became the great empires. What of Babylon? What of Persia? What of the Greek kingdom? What of the Roman Empire? What destroyed them? One has only to read the history books to realize the debris that they left because they gave themselves over to the very things that pervert society and take it down a road that has only ruin at its end. The House very well knows that there is no history book that does not record the ruin of nations because of their departure from morality, truth, and righteousness. Judgment will come in time, but it would be far better for us as legislators to try and avert such judgment coming upon the nation. What a challenge he gave to his fellow legislators, and what a complete understanding of the cycle of freedom and the providence of God in the affairs of nations. What was the response to his strong condemnation based on truth and courage? The response was that he was mocked. It's tough to state the truth and make courageous observations to a culture that doesn't want to hear it. This is U.S. Civics Training. Thanks for listening.